Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Unstoppable podcast. My name is Ralph Graves Jr. So glad to have you here. Today, my guest is Mr. Aaron Kimball. He is the CEO, the founder, the man who runs it, Family Businessman. The name of the company is Family Businessman. Aaron, thank you for being on, man.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Now, Aaron, I noticed and I wanted to hit record because it'd probably be pretty neat. You're doing something that I always wanted to explore doing, and you raise cattle. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
That's amazing.
Yes, sir. We raise some. Yeah, we raise some and then we buy and sell some like you buy and sell stocks on the stock market.
Okay. Now, I didn't want to raise just any cattle. You know what I wanted to raise, Aaron? I wanted to raise the bulls that were used in the rodeo.
Oh, you needed an entertainment value.
Yeah. I mean, we could use them later on for food, but I wanted to raise them for the rodeo. I got. I don't know if you know anything about rodeo bulls. You probably do more than I, but I fell in love with the story of a bull named Bodacious.
Oh yeah.
And nobody could ride him and everything else. And I was like, man, I want to get into that. How does one get into doing what you do? We're going to talk about the Family Businessman. Where did it all start? How did it start there?
Well, Family Businessman?
Yeah, how did that start?
So it started, I don't know, about a year and a half ago. I was at a point in my life where I was like, I know I can do a whole lot more, but what is it? Because I was into quite a few things and had, most people would think I was doing really well, and I guess I was for most people's standards, but for me, I felt like there was still something missing. And I said, all right, God, what do you want me to do? Okay. I'm tired of doing it my way. What do you want me to do? And as time went by, I was on Facebook one night. I only got on Facebook to sell some cattle one time. I never really cared for it. Me and a friend joked around. We called it Spacebook.
Right.
So, so I just hadn't really been on it. And so I was on it one night looking, and this ad popped up, and it was Life on Fire. And it was what Nick said was kind of stuck with me. And so I don't know, a little while later, I filled something out and joined that group. And from that group, Family Businessman came out, and it really came out when COVID really hit. Because when COVID hit, you started hearing about a lot of divorces going up, domestic violence, and getting men to become leaders. Okay. Not only in their family, but in their business, because you can't be a leader in your business and not be a leader at home.
Right.
So those two are intertwined together. So that's how it came to be, and it's just kind of grown since then.
What is the core value of Family Businessmen? Who are you targeting? I know it's men, but what's one of the core values?
So there's four core values. Faith is first, family is second, business is third, and legacy is fourth. Okay. And what I do is I help Christian businessmen and entrepreneurs overcome fear to grow their business without losing their faith or their family.
Wow. Yeah, because you can lose all of that growing a business. And I know a lot of Christian businessmen. I pastor a church, and I know quite a few, and some of them fail at being fathers because they're pushing in their mind, I have to feed them. So sometimes I have to feed the family. So sometimes I can't be there all the time. I can't be there emotionally all the time because I need to make the deal. I need to sell the cattle. I need to make it work. How how do you bring balance to that? And I faced that challenge. My children are grown now. Thank God. I've been pastoring 15 years. So when I started pastoring, they were already in their teens. And I'm a son of a pastor. And my father he kind of gave me the pattern. But how do you help a man who thinks, man, I got an 8-year-old son at home or daughter. I'm never there. I'm losing them. They're 13 now. I don't recognize them anymore. How do you help that guy out, Aaron?
Well, I was that guy because I was working. I had a job. I was working in a job. I would come home, do my cattle stuff, and then I got into real estate and started doing some real estate, built some duplexes and some other stuff. And I was always gone. I had a son from when I was 19 years old. He was 19 when he was born. And then I got married about 10 years later.
Yeah.
And we had a couple more kids, and we were living in the 900 square foot house, and I was running like crazy.
Yeah.
And I said, one day I said, nope, not doing this no more. And I started taking them with me and doing more with them. And if I couldn't do it with them, I wasn't going to do it.
Wow.
So, and if you make them a part of the business, you're giving them a mindset on how to be a business person and how to set themselves up for the future.
Yeah. Man, that's great, man. I think a father definitely has to make up their mind to do things like that. I know I have 2 daughters and a son, and I had them out fairly young, but I told my wife, I said, listen, when I'm not home, he's here with 3 women. Oh no, everywhere I go, he's gone. If I went down to the convenience store, get in the car, wherever I went. It's paid off, but wherever I went, but I think a man has to make a conscious decision to do that. So you started this group. How do you introduce him? I'm a non-believer. How do you introduce this man to our faith? He's struggling. He's doing great in business, because often the case is we do great in business, but we fail at family. And, Sundays come around, or I ain't got time to pray. How do you introduce a man into the faith to really, because really that's where our instruction on what real manhood is all about is wrapped up for me in our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. So how do you introduce a non-believer who's struggling in this area? I know he's welcome. How do you bring him on in, Aaron? How does that look?
Well, I believe God speaks to your heart.
Yeah.
And when God speaks to your heart, if you're not a believer, you have something inside your heart. You can call it your gut, whatever you want to call it. There's something in there that is telling you need to do something else, but you're listening to your mind, and your mind is telling you to do something else. Yeah. Now, I think that Satan talks to your mind, and he will convince you why you should not listen to your heart. Yeah. And I bet you, I'd be willing to make a pretty significant bet that if you're listening to your heart, you will start to feel it. And you will start to, and if you start listening to it and then make those changes that your heart is telling you, you will see dramatic changes in your life.
Yeah. So has this grown, the family business? But how has it grown? Are you getting an influx of men who are struggling in that area?
We have, and we're about to do a new challenge coming up in September that I can't wait to get started.
Talk to me about the challenge. What's the challenge? What's the challenge? Talk to me about the challenge and how men around the globe can be a part of that. What's the challenge?
So the challenge is going to be a 5-day challenge. It's going to help you get clarity in your life and in your business. We'll talk a lot about your heart, listening to your heart, talk about your limitations that we impose on ourselves, because if we're a true believer in God, we have no limitations, just the only limitations we put on ourselves.
I agree. Yeah.
And then we'll talk about focus, on how to focus on, what you need to focus on, because a lot of times we focus on the problem, not the solution. And we start focusing on the solutions and not the problems, things start changing for us. Our life starts changing for us.
Yeah.
And it'll be 5 days. We'll get to talk about that. And then value is something I think is very important through going. And some people may not like this, but I'm just going to say it. A lot of times when you go through public schools and then to college, we get devalued. We don't believe our value is exactly as much as it really is. Yeah. So when you actually learn what your value truly is, it starts to be a game changer for you, because we've been taught for so long that our value is so less, but it's really extremely high. Yeah. So once you learn what your true value is, you can start to make those changes in your life and in your business that really starts to take dramatic leaps for you.
Yeah. Aaron, I got so excited when we first started talking about this cattle thing. We jumped right into the business part, but now I want the audience to get a chance to know you. Talk to us about your background. Where were you raised? Where were you born and raised? How did you come up? How did you get to become a successful businessman?
Well, I grew up in a little bitty town in Texas. The only way most people know about it if they ever saw the movie Hope Floats.
Okay.
Because it's about 3,500, 4,000 people. It is growing pretty good because we're about 35, 40 minutes from Austin. So we're starting to grow a little bit. So I grew up there. My mom and dad were together. They got divorced when I was 18, but I went to work for a man that owned this full service gas station. I don't know if you remember those.
I remember.
If y'all had those.
Yeah.
Well, that's where I went to work at. You pump the gas, you check the tires, you check the oil.
Yeah.
You know, you did everything. So I worked there, and he was kind of like my grandpa and my dad.
Okay.
So I remember sitting there one day, and I saw this vision that I was going to be a business person one day. I had no clue what it meant. Still didn't have no clue. But then I turned, as time went on, you know, I showed cattle, I rode horses when I was younger, and I would work all the time. Then when I was 18, my high school girlfriend got pregnant. And I found out about 2 weeks before I graduated high school.
Okay.
And her mom gave us an ultimatum. You get married or have an abortion. We had one of the two. So we chose to get married. And that, you know, when you get married at 18 and 17, your odds aren't really for you when you're coming up against that. So it didn't last very long. And he came to live with me full time when he was 5.
Okay.
So then I was working out of town, got a job in town, working a lot, told to go to college, went to college, got a degree in 5 years because I was never at home. I went to work, went to school, and that was it.
Yeah.
And it got me a better job. And then I was like, you know what? I want to get back into business, you know, doing business. And I thought doing business at the company is what I wanted, but I found out that wasn't what I wanted.
Yeah.
Because they control you, and you can only do what they want you to do. You can't do what you want to do.
Right.
And you know what's right. So that's when I started off and started doing my own business stuff. You know, I still work there today, but it's weird how God will use you if you let him use you.
Yeah.
Because I'm there helping them realize that there's more to life than working for someone else and doing what someone else tells you to do.
Okay.
I'm able to impact people in a big way, which is fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are you learning about yourself right now? I like to ask my guests that, you know, if you pay attention, you'll learn some things about yourself along the way. What is Aaron learning about Aaron right now, today?
Well, I know today I have no limitations other than the ones I set on myself. Like from where I started to where I am today is like totally different. And when I really take a step back and look at that, I'm like, wow, I can't do anything. Just only if I just tell myself I can't, then I can't do it. I'm already beat, right?
Right.
But I can't. And I get to be, you know, that makes me to be a better man, not only for God, but for my family,
sure,
my business, and whatever I do. So it just goes over their whole perspective of your life. You know, you don't have any limitations, no matter what happens in your life. Doesn't mean that you can't be a good dad if you don't want to. Can't mean that you can't start your own business. I don't care where you came up from and what your background is. You can start a business if you want to. It's all a matter if you really want to do it or not, and if you have the faith to do it.
Yeah. That's an important lesson, man. So we talk about on some Unstoppable program, man. You know, there's the only limitations you have are the limitations you place on yourself. And sometimes we begin to listen to the limitations that others place on us. I'm sure people, and I don't know what kind of support system you had. Did you have a large support system, or was it you driving you?
Me.
Yeah.
Most people thought I was crazy.
Yeah, and they will. They will. Yeah. They
tell me I'm really smart now. Especially because I built some duplexes back about 6 years ago. And it was a little over $500,000 project when we got started. And we were living in a 900 square foot house. There was 5 of us living in a 900 square foot house.
I know the feeling. Yeah.
And we were living in a little bitty house, and I was taking on it, and I was doing this big project. But I believed in it so much and had so much faith, and I knew it would work because I'd done some research, and I just knew it would work. And everybody's like, "You're crazy. What happens if it fails?" Oh, well, they just get it. It's not a big deal, you know?
Yeah.
I ain't got much to take anyway, so what does it matter? And, you know, that just kicked off, and people thought I was crazy when I did that. And since then, I don't get as much as I'm crazy. I got a little bit. People thought I was crazy when I started Family Businessmen, but as people seen it grow over the last year, they're like, wow, we got to watch you do this.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just me. I say I'm the CEO of Family Businessmen, God's the founder, because that is the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to help somebody along who's listening, who's on their journey. It's normal. What Aaron just said happens to all of us. You will be misunderstood. And like he said, when it's all said and done, the same people who lovingly wanted to protect you and tried to discourage you, but lovingly, because they wanted to protect you, they will all line up and say, I'm proud of you. So, and we don't do it for that, but hear what Aaron is saying. Be strong, have a resolve. If you know that God has placed something in your heart, I mean, what's the worst that could happen? It just might work.
Yeah. I mean, I always say the only thing you got to fear is death itself. And if you live right, life the way you should, you don't even have to fear that, right?
Don't even have to fear
from every failure, you're either going to gain money or you're going to gain knowledge. Either way, you still want it.
Yeah. Aaron, tell us about tell me about a setback. Tell us about a setback that you may have had. I mean, your journey is much like mine, man. A teen father, that's hard enough. That's hard enough. A teen father. But tell us how do you work through a setback? How do you work through that? Maybe you work through it differently now than when you did when you were younger, because we're grown men now. But someone listening is going through something, a setback, or might be feeling a certain way. How would you advise them? What did you do to work through a setback?
When those things happen, it's really easy to let your emotions take over. I would say you need to stop, acknowledge your emotions, like understand that you do have those emotions, and then put them to the side. Once you can start controlling your emotions, you can take a step back. Okay, my emotions said that was really horrible. I may have lost a lot of money. I may have this have happened. What if that have happened? That doesn't matter. Then you take a step back and go, okay, what did I just learn from that?
Yeah.
Those lessons that you learn from that will help you grow even more if you will take those lessons and apply them moving forward.
Yeah. I heard someone say, I think I even said it on my radio show, I read it somewhere, that emotions are just data. It's information going to your brain. It's up to you what emotion you attach to it. Information is information. Yeah. It's just what it is. And so it's up to you what you attach to it. And if what you attach to it, does it fuel you to work through it? Does it elevate you? And so, man, thank you for that advice, man. Thank you for sharing that with us. So how can men around the globe become part of your company, become part of what you're doing, man?
They can go to there's a Facebook group called Family Businessmen. Okay. You can look it up and request to join that way, or you can get a hold of me through the website. It's theaaronkimball.com, or you'll see a Family Businessman Challenge coming out pretty soon.
I love the fact that it's 5 days. You see, men are locked in on that. You can't give us 30 days. We're going to fizzle out. I like the fact that it's 5 days.
You can give 5 days, and we break it into a VIP session. If you want to join the VIP, you can do that, and then we go into the general mission after that, where everybody comes together. Yeah. So they get to do either or. So it's if you do VIP, it'd be 2 hours a day for 5 days, or if you do general mission, it's just 1 hour a day for 5 days. Now it's going to be really fun.
All of this is virtual, correct?
Yes, all of this is virtual.
Wow. So guys, jump on it, man. Go to the website, theaaronkimball.com, theaaronkimball.com. Log in, get started, sign up for that workshop, that retreat, that conference, whatever you want to call it. Sign up for that. Guys, it's only 5 days. It's not a 30-day challenge. It's 5 days. It's 5 days. It's 5 days, man. But I thank you, man, for just being who you are, man. And thank you for taking the time, man, just to come bless us with your story and what you're doing. I never met a cattleman before, so I can check that off. Now I just need to meet an oil tycoon. You know, you had said that, let me go back to this cattle thing. So you guys have to bear with me now. So you buy and sell cattle even online as like stocks.
You can do that, yes. So you can buy them through a video auction, and then they'll get you can get them delivered to your place, or you can send them to a feed yard or whatever else. I buy them through a local sale barn, bring them home, add value to them, and then I'll sell them on a video auction later on, and then they'll pick them up and take them to their next stage in life.
All right.
So, I mean,
so a guy like me,
Yes.
like me, I'm in New Jersey. I got a new friend named Aaron Kimball. He's like, Aaron, I'm trying to break into Cattle King. And Aaron will say, why, man? Why? But then I'll tell him why. And so I don't want to ever have the cattle here. So I could go to online. I could purchase, I could send it to a feed place, you said?
Yes, the feedlot. Yes. Sir.
Okay. Now, how do I make money? Let's just come right down to it.
Well, it's always about how you buy, right?
Okay. All right.
If you can buy at the right time and then add value to them and sell them as the market goes up, you can do that. Or you can buy futures. So there's what they call them commodity market exchange. It's done in Chicago.
Okay.
And if you can lock in a price ahead of time, and then that will hopefully give you your profit margin in there. Although if you don't do that, then you're subject to what the market does. So you may lose money or you may make money. Going back to the question you asked me a while ago, what's one of the biggest things I had to overcome when I first started buying and selling cattle? Like the first 2 years, I lost 100,000.
Okay. Yeah.
And I didn't quit. I just kept taking those lessons that I learned from over and over and doing it, and kept applying them moving forward. Where then I started making money when other people were losing money.
Wow. Yeah.
So, that's the thing about it. If you keep going, you'll keep applying those lessons, and before long, you're going to see how you're starting to win in the game, because life is a game and business is a game, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can take those lessons and apply them moving forward, and you'll start to win doing that. If you just stop, you just failed. Yeah.
Perseverance. Now, let me ask you, did you have mentors? Did you have any mentors along the way?
I have had some in different areas of my life,
I mean, like in business, like business mentors. Yeah. 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 Did you have business mentors?
No, I pretty much had learned it all on my own.
Wow. Okay. Hey, trial and error. Sometimes you learn how to swim by just jumping in the water, right?
I've had some people give me some pointers here and there.
Okay.
But mostly it's been not, I do have a coach now, like in my business now, and he's extremely amazing to get to work with.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and that was helped me what came over my last limitations of what I thought my value was.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Aaron, I need one of those hats, man.
We can get you one.
I need one of those hats. You send me a hat, I'll send you a book. I don't know. Do it like that.
All right. We'll get you a hat and a shirt.
Yeah. I want that shirt too. I like that. Yeah, let's work that out.
I need some going around in New Jersey.
That's right. Guys, listen, Aaron, thank you for being on, man. Thank you for being transparent. Thank you for telling us how to get involved. And guys, let's go. The family businessmen, get involved. Ladies, if you're listening and if you have a man in your life, or maybe a son, a nephew, or somebody that needs to really be involved and really learn how it's okay. God does want you to succeed at business. I don't know why we don't think he does. If we biblically, there's the Jobs, there's the Abrahams, there's Joseph. I mean, they were highly successful in business. Solomon, they were highly successful in business. God wants you to succeed, but not at the sake of losing your family or losing your faith. So there's men that are out there doing it, and Aaron has something just for you. So thank you for listening to the program. Follow my friend Aaron, the Aaron Kimball, the AaronKimball.com. Aaron, you're on Facebook. Are you on anywhere else? Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram?
I'm on some of those other ones, but most everything is on Facebook.
All right. All right. Everything's on Facebook. Guys, get to know him. Get to know him. Let him pour into you. Guys, you've been listening to the Unstoppable program. My name is Ralph Grace. Listen, I want to say this. We do have a sponsor. This was brought to you by Revitavive Hydration. Revitavive Hydration. All of your vitamin needs, all of your hydration needs, right in Sewell, New Jersey. Just go to revitavive.com and link up with them there if you're up here in the Northeast. Aaron, thank you for coming by. Thank you for stopping by. And guys, my name's Ralph Graves. I'll see you next time.